Abuse. Have you ever heard of a place so evil, so suffused with darkness, that even the Pope would refuse to fly over it? Today, we're journeying to the heartland of America. To a tiny, unassuming town in Kansas, home to one of the country's most terrifying urban legends. Welcome to Stull Cemetery, a place whispered to be one of the 7 gateways to hell. Stull, Kansas. It sounds peaceful, doesn't it? A quiet, rural community. But beneath this tranquil surface lies a history steeped in tragedy and paranormal lore that has captivated and terrified people for generations. The stories surrounding Stull Cemetery are the stuff of nightmares, tales of witchcraft, dark rituals, and a direct portal to the underworld. The legend claims that twice a year, on Halloween and the spring equinox, a hidden staircase appears in the ruins of the old stone church that once stood here, she said, to descend directly into hell itself, and the devil himself holds court. It's a story so powerful that it's drawn countless thrill-seekers, paranormal investigators, and curious onlookers to this remote graveyard over the years. But where did these chilling tales originate? The history of Stull is marked by a series of strange and tragic events. In the early 20th century, a young boy was accidentally burned to death by his own father in a field. Later, a man was found hanging from a tree in the cemetery. These grim incidents, combined with local whispers of witchcraft and occult practices, began to weave a dark tapestry around the town. The legend truly exploded in a 1974 article in the University of Kansas student newspaper. The piece detailed the supposed supernatural occurrences in Stull, including encounters with the devil. From there, the story went viral, long before the internet even existed. It was passed from person to person, growing more elaborate with each telling. One of the most famous parts of the myth involves Pope John Paul II. During his 1993 visit to the United States, it's rumored that he rerouted his plane to avoid flying over Stull, citing the profound evil presence he could sense even from the air. While this has been officially denied, the story persists, adding a layer of almost holy validation to the cemetery's sinister reputation. So, what happens when you actually visit Stull Cemetery, especially after dark? Those who have dared to venture onto its grounds report a host of unsettling phenomena. People speak of an overwhelming sense of dread that washes over them the moment they step foot on the property. It's a feeling of being watched, of not being welcome. Witnesses claim to have seen shadowy figures flitting between the tombstones, heard disembodied whispers on the wind when no one else is around, and experienced sudden, unexplained drops in temperature. Electronic equipment, like cameras and audio recorders, is known to malfunction without reason. Some visitors have even reported feeling disoriented, as if time and space are warping around them, only to find themselves lost 4 hours within the small confines of the graveyard. Stone Church was a focal point of these legends. For decades, it stood as a crumbling, roofless ruin, its empty windows like hollow eyes staring out over the graves. People claimed it was a site for satanic rituals and that it was impossible for rain to fall inside its walls. No matter how hard it stormed outside, the church became such a magnet for vandals and trespassers, drawn by the dark allure of the legend, that in 2002, the landowner had it demolished. The only thing that remains is a pile of stones, but the energy, people say, is still there. But is it all just a myth? Skeptics argue that the Stull Cemetery legend is a classic example of folklore, a combination of real tragedies, local gossip, and a sensationalized newspaper article that snowballed into a national phenomenon. They believe the feelings of fear and disorientation are simply the power of suggestion, working on people's minds in a creepy, isolated setting. When you go somewhere expecting to be scared, your brain is primed to interpret every shadow and sound as something supernatural. Through that, many of the historical facts underpinning the legend are difficult to verify. The stories of witchcraft, for example, have little to no concrete evidence backing them up. They seem to have appeared as the legend grew, embellishing the narrative to make it even more frightening. However, the sheer volume and consistency of eyewitness accounts are hard to dismiss entirely. From seasoned paranormal investigators to curious teenagers, people from all walks of life have reported similar experiences at Stull Day. They describe the same oppressive atmosphere, the same fleeting glimpses of figures in the dark, the same unexplainable electronic failures. Could they all be mistaken? Could it all be mass hysteria? Or is there something genuinely paranormal at play? Paranormal theorists propose several explanations. One idea is that the tragic deaths that occurred here have created a residual haunting, an energetic imprint of past events that replays over and over. 2. The intense emotions of fear and sorrow have soaked into the very soil, creating a negative energy vortex. Another theory, tied to the gateway to hell legend, is that the location is a natural weak spot between our world and another dimension. A place where the veil is thin, allowing entities perhaps, not the devil himself, but something else entirely to cross over. This could explain the feelings of disorientation and the strange otherworldly encounters. One of the most intriguing aspects is the supposed bridge that traps souls, a name often associated with a nearby bridge. Legend has it that once you cross it, especially at night, something latches onto you, following you home. People have reported experiencing paranormal activity in their own houses for weeks after visiting Stull. From strange noises to objects moving on their own, it's as if a piece of the cemetery's darkness refuses to let go. Despite the demolition of the church and increased security to deter trespassers, the legend of Stull Cemetery endures. It's a powerful reminder of how stories can take on a life of their own, blurring the lines between fact and fiction, history and myth. The cemetery is now heavily patrolled, and visitors are not welcome, especially after dark. The local community has grown weary of the attention, wishing to let their ancestors rest in peace. But the questions remain. Is Stull Cemetery just a place with a dark history and an overactive rumor mill? Or is it a genuine nexus of paranormal energy, a place where the barrier between our world and something much darker is dangerously thin? Are the countless stories of ghostly encounters and oppressive fear the product of imagination? Or are they the desperate warnings of those who have glimpsed what lies beyond? The truth is, we may never know for sure. The demolition of the church removed the physical heart of the legend, but it couldn't erase the story from our collective consciousness. The tale of Stull Cemetery serves as a fascinating case study in American folklore, a testament to our enduring fascination with the unknown and the things that go bump in the night. It reminds us that sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we create in our own minds. And sometimes, just sometimes, they might be real. So, would you dare to visit? Would you risk crossing that bridge and walking among the weathered tombstones as darkness falls, knowing that something might just follow you back? The legend of Stull Cemetery, the gateway to hell, continues to haunt the American psyche. A chilling whisper from the heartland that invites us to question what we believe about the world around us. Thanks for joining us on this journey into one of America's most haunted legends. If you have your own local ghost stories or have ever had a paranormal experience, share it in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more explorations into the strange and unexplained. Until next time, stay curious.